as per our syllabus, today we will see about the most important representative of the class Pisces in the form of the Scalodon. Okay, so Scalodon is commonly known as dogfish. Okay, it is a representative of the superclass Pisces. As per your syllabus, you people study about the habit, habitat, external morphology, digestive system, circulatory system, respiratory system, and a reproductive system in case of the Scalodon. Okay, when our intention is to study about the animals at that time, first of all we will classify these animals by using the classification keys. So classifications of the Scalodon reveals us that it belongs to the phylum Chordata. That is, the Scalodon belongs to the phylum Chordata. Why they are belonging to the phylum Chordata? Because in the body of these animals there is having the most distinguishing characters is in the form of the, that is, notochord and vertebral column. Notochord and vertebral column is present in case of the Scalodon. Therefore they are belonging to the phylum Chordata. So you are already known that the chordate characters, number one is presence of notochord, second one is the presence of the vertebral column, then there is having the pharyngeal gill slits and anal tail. These are the distinguishing characters of the Chordata, and these characters they are present in case of the Scalodon. Therefore they are belonging to the phylum Chordata. Now the phylum Chordata further classified into the group Vertebrata. Okay, now the Scalodon belonging to the group Vertebrata because the notochord get replaced by the true vertebral column. Notochord is replaced by the vertebral column, therefore they are belonging to the Chordata. Then subphylum of these animals are nothing but the Gnathostomata. Why they are belonging to the Gnathostomata? Because here these are having the both the jaws, that is the upper jaws and lower jaws are present in case of the Scalodon. Therefore they are belonging to the Gnathostomata. Then the series Pisces or the superclass Pisces, because of there is having the cylindrical body, streamlined, then body having the specialized type of the organs is in the form of the fins. Both pectoral and pelvic fins they are present here in case of these Scalodon. Therefore they are belonging to the, that is the superclass or the series Pisces. And they, another most distinguishing characteristic features is they are inhabitant in the aquatic ecosystem. Then class chondric fish, because here there is the endoskeleton they are having is in the form of the cartilaginous material, therefore they are belonging to the class chondric fish. Here is the subclass Selaceae or the Elasmobranchi, order Pleurotremata, and the genus of these fish is the Scalodon. Okay, genus is the Scalodon. So in this way we nomenclature and classify the animal by using the classification keys. Habit and habits of these Scalodon reveals us that they are commonly known as shark. Sculoden is also inhabitant in the marine environments. They are inhabitant in the open seas. It is a carnivorous fish. Okay, it is a carnivorous fish and feeds on the other fishes, crabs and other crustaceans. It is a voracious feeder. Why they are known as the voracious feeder? Because they are continuously feeds on to the food materials, and they are having the more power of the smells. Therefore, they are known as the dogfish. As we are already known that a dog having the ability to smell senses is comparatively more than that of the human beings. The shape of the body modified for the fast swimming. Okay, sexes in case of these animal are separate. That is, the sexual dimorphism is well marked here. In case of the Sculoden, fertilization is internal and it gives birth to the young ones. That is the viviparous. Most interesting and distinguishing. Okay, Sculoden gives the birth to directly young ones here. Sculoden is a genus of requiem sharks in the family Carcharodontidae. It was formerly thought to include only a single Indo-Pacific species, that is the Spadinose shark, Spadinose laticaudus, but recent taxonomic research has found two species, that is the Sculoden macrorhynchus and Sculoden laticaudus. External features of the body reveals us that body is differentiated into the head, trunk and tail. There is not a differentiation. There is a neck is not differentiated here. Okay, head bears the snout, nostril, mouth, then ampullary materials and the paired eyes, which is located in the head region. Okay, beside the eyes there is having the paired gill slits on the lateral side of the body on both the sides. Then at the median region there is having the line. These lines are known as the in the trunk region. Actually, the trunk region there is having the lateral lines. The trunk and tail of these animals having the specialized type of the fin which help to them for the swimming in the water. They are nothing but the pectoral fins and the pelvic fin. Then there is also having the ventral fins and the caudal fins. Here onto their dorsal side of the body there is having the dorsal fin. Pectoral fins are the paired fins, dorsal fins are the unpaired fins. Pectoral and pelvic fins are the paired fins. Okay, dorsal fins are the unpaired fins. Okay, now here in case of the Sculoden there is having the first dorsal fin and the second dorsal fin. First dorsal fin and second dorsal fin, and posteriorly the tail having the caudal fins, and the specialized type of the tail is observed here. These type of the tails are on the heterocircle tails. Heterocircle tail. External characteristics of the body reveals us that it is a laterally compressed spindle shape tapering at both the ends. The dorsal surface of the body is dark grey and the ventral side is pale white in color. A full specimen measure about the 60 cm in length. The body is divisible into the three important parts, that is the head, trunks and the tail, but there is no distinct boundaries between them. Okay, the head of this animal is dorso-ventrally flattened and the produced forward to form the snout. The head bears mouth, nares, external gill slits and the ampullary pores. That is, the ampullary pores help to them for the sensations. Now the mouth of this animal is crescenting, which is that crescenting opening. Okay, is situated onto the ventral surface of the head. It is bounded by the upper and lower jaws. Therefore, they are the gnathostomata. The skin is folded over the both the jaws, upper and lower jaws, so as to form the lips, upper lips and the lower lips, which are immovable. Each jaw is provided with the one or two rows of the teeth. Okay, upper and lower jaws of this shark provided by the one or two rows of the teeth. Then in the head region there is also having the nares, two crescenting aperture. The nares are present on the ventral surface of the snout anterior to the mouth. They leads into the olfactory functions because the internal nares are absent, so that cannot function as the respiratory organs. Nares, they are not working as the respiratory function, they are act as a olfactory in functions. Okay, that is the sensation. Now the head region of this Scoliodon having the paired eyes, two large circular eyes which is present at the head region situated at the side of the head. Each eye is provided with the upper and lower eyelids which are merely the outgrowth of the skin and they are immovables. That is, they are the movable. A nictitating membrane lies along the anteroventral border of the eye and can be drawn over the eye during the danger. The pupil is narrow and vertical. Okay, so here the specific eyes which is having the ability to see in the aquatic mediums. Okay, so here there is a nictitating membrane is present, and nictitating membrane help to them for the, that is the protecting the eyes when there is a dangers which is occurred in the catchment area of these Scoliodon. Now at the base of these eyes there is the paired gill slits. Behind the eyes on either side of the head are situated 5 vertical slits called as the gill slits or branchial slits. These apertures lead into the gill pouches and then into the pharynx. As we already known that the respiration is occurred here in case of the Scoliodon with the help of the gill respiration. Then the ampullary pores which is also present at the head regions. On the head and snout open several groups of the minute ampullary pores of the receptor called the ampullae of Lorenzini. Then the second part of the body are nothing but the trunk. Then the trunk of this Scoliodon is the thickest part of the body. Anteriorly it joins the head and posteriorly to the tail. Okay. At the junctions of the trunk and tail, a cloacal aperture is present on ventral sides. Why they are known as the cloacal aperture? Because both the function, that is the excretory and the genital function, made by the same aperture. Therefore these functions are known as the cloacal aperture in case of the Scoliodon. Then the trunk bears the several fins. As I already told you that there is having the different types of the fins in case of the Scoliodon in the form of the paired and the unpaired fins. Paired fins are nothing but the pectoral fins and the pelvic fins, and the unpaired fins are nothing but the dorsal fins and the, that is the caudal fins. Okay, and the ventral fins. The fins are thin, flat outgrowth of the skin and muscles and supported by the cartilaginous rods. They are known as the fin rays. There are two sets of the fins, that is the unpaired median fins and paired lateral fins. There is a single median fin, the first dorsal fin. It lies on the dorsal side of the body, okay, as a triangular in outline. There are two paired or lateral fins. They are known as the pectoral and the pelvic fins. The pectoral fins are situated anteriorly, one on the either side of the junctions of the trunk and tail, enclosing the cloacal apertures. In the male, in case of the, here we are already known that sexual dimorphism is well marked. In case of the male, pelvic fins bear the stiff rod like brood copulatory organs along the inner edge known as the claspers. Clasper is present in case of the male. So on the basis of these presence of the morphological organ, that is the clasper, we will differentiate the male and female of the Scoliodon. So here there is a sexual dimorphism is observed in case of the fishes also. The abdominal pores situated on small papillae are present on either side of the cloacal aperture. These pores open into the coelomic cavities. As we are already known that the chordates are the coelomates animals because there is having the true secondary body cavities, so that this body cavity get filled with this fluid. This fluid is known as the coelomic fluids. Now the third important part of the body are nothing but the tail. It is the posterior most part of the body in case of the Scoliodon. They behind the trunk and narrow down posteriorly. In the posterior regions of the, it waves upwards at a small angles. These type of the tails are known as the heterocircle of the tail because there is having the two lobes, upper lobes and the lower lobes. Upper lobes is larger and the lower lobes is smaller in size. Okay. The second dorsal fin, dorsal so called the posterior dorsal, is the triangular but much smaller than that of the first dorsal fins. The tail fin extend along the dorsal and the ventral surface of the tail in the medial lines and form the dorsal and ventral lobes. Okay, there is having the two lobes, dorsal lobes and the ventral lobes. Dorsal lobe is larger than that of the ventral lobe. Therefore, this type of the tail is known as the heterocircle type of the tail. There are shallow pits called the caudal pits at the root of a tail, both on the dorsal and ventral sides. These are characteristics of the Scalodons. Okay. Now, characteristic features of the Scalodon reveals us that the tail of this Scalodon having the heterocircle type of the tail, because there is having the two lobes of the tail, that is the upper lobes and the lower. Upper lobes are known as the dorsal lobe and the ventral lobes, lower lobes are known as the ventral lobes. Upper lobes is larger than that of the lower lobes. A faint lateral lines which is present on the median regions of the body, they are extend from the head to the tail region. These are nothing but the lateral line system. Okay, and onto this lateral line system there is having the sensory lateral canal which help to them for the balancing of the body. Then the body wall of this animal reveals us that, okay, now body wall differentiated into the two regions. Outermost layer containing the few loose fibers from the stratum laxum. In the stratum laxum there is having the pigment cells are present. These cells are branched and contains the pigment granules. The inner layers with the compact fibers and the stratum compactum, blood capillaries, nerve fibers and the muscle fibers are present in case of the dermis. Okay, outer layers and the inner layers, these are the two important layers of the body wall which is observed here. Okay, so the skin of these animals having the scales, skin of the animals having the scales, the specialized type of the scales they are present here, that is the exoskeleton which is present in case of the Scalodon. Okay, in form of the skin. The skin form the external covering of the body and perform the number of functions. Skin is composed of two layers, the epidermis and the dermis or corium. Epidermis is the outermost layer. It is ectodermal in origin and consists of the several layers of the flattened cells. The innermost layer has cuboidal cells and it is known as the Malpighian layers of the germinativium. These cells rest on the basement membrane. Okay, here in this diagrammatic presentation we clearly understood that here is the epidermis and here is the dermis. Okay, now the epidermis is 2 to 6 layers in thickness. Here in this epidermis there is having the ectodermal in origin and consists of the several layers of the flattened cells. The innermost layer has cuboidal, okay, specific cuboidal shape of the cells are present in the epidermis. It is known as the Malpighian layers or germinativium. These cells rest on the basement membrane. Here is the basement membrane, and onto this basement membrane there is resting the several layers of the epidermal cells. Cells of the outer becomes the progressively flattened and the keratinized toward the surface, but the stratum corneum present in the terrestrial vertebrates is not present in case of the fishes. Among the epidermal cells, numerous unicellular mucous glands are also present. Due to presence of the mucous gland, the fishes becomes the slippery. Okay, the mucus make the body slippery, and this is the one of the most important defense mechanism which is observed in case of the fishes. Then the another important part of the body wall is nothing but the dermis. Okay, the dermis lies beneath the epidermis and is composed of the fibrous connective tissues. Okay, with the collagen fibers and the various types of the cells which is present in case of the dermis. Okay, here in this case there is a dermis. In the dermis there is a blood capillaries, then the nerve cells, then basal plates of the scales, they are present in the dermal regions. Okay, then here there is having the openings of the pulp cavity. Okay, and through this the sensation, the nerve fibers, they are entered, okay, in the form of the caniculae. Here is the dentine, and the terminal part is known as the vitrodentines. Okay, the spines, the scale spines are produced here. Now the functions of the body wall. Functions of the body wall in case of these Scalodon, it performs the external covering of the body and protect the body against injuries and infection. Secretion of the mucous gland makes body slippery and protect the animals from its enemies. The skin and the mucus secreted by its gland help the fish in the regulating to some extent the osmotic exchange of water and ions between the body fluids and the surrounding mediums. So the body wall is very, very important. They are actually take part in the defense mechanism in case of the Scalodon. Then the derivatives of the skin play an important role in case of the metabolic activities of the body and also provide the protections to the body. Then in the skin there is a having the chromatophores of the various kinds of the pigment present in here in the dermis, and it will give the beautiful color patterns to the body of these animals. Okay, then it communicates to the animal changes in the surrounding by means of the receptor. Now in the skin there is also having the receptors. Okay, and these receptors help to them or the communication with their surrounding to the internal environments. Now the scales which is present here in case of the Scalodon, okay, or in case of the fishes, in most of the species there is a having the scales, but in case of the certain fishes, there is a catfishes does not have the scales. The skin is covered with an exoskeleton in the form of the scales. Then in case of the catfishes are devoid of the any type of the scales. Now in case of the Scalodon there is a having odontoid or the placoid scales are present. In case of the Scalodon there is a having the special type of the scale. These scales are known as the odontoid or the placoid scales. These are the minute dermal denticles which are arranged in a regular oblique rows and form the exoskeleton of the shark. Okay, in case of the fishes there is a having both exoskeleton and the endoskeleton, and exoskeleton provide the protective covering for the body and endoskeleton provide the mechanical strength in case of the body of these animals. Now the placoid scale in case of the Scalodon, each placoid scales consists of the two parts, that is a diamond shaped basal part, they are known as the basal plate, and a flat triredent spines which is observed in case of the placoid scale. The basal plate embedded in the skin and the firmly held by the sharpy fibrous and connective tissue fibers. The center of the basal plate is perforated by an aperture known as the opening of the pulp cavity, through which the blood vessels and the nerve fibers are entered inside the dendrine regions. The basal plate is formed by the trabecular calcified tissue closely allied to the cementum of mammalian foods. Okay, so trident spine projecting out of the skin is backwardly directed, which is observed here. Here is the diagrammatic presentations of the placoid scales, basal plates, and there is having the triredient spines. Okay, and at the basal plate there is having the central region, that is the known as the opening of the pulp cavity, and through which there is the entry of the blood vessels and the nerve fibers are takes place, and here these provide the, that is the sensation to their external environment, provide the sensation to the external environment. So the spine has the external covering of the enamel like the hard transparent material called as the vitrodentine. It is followed by the layer of the dentine encased in the pulp cavity, from which several branches dentine canalicula radiates in the different direction. Pulp consists of the odontoblast type of the cells, blood vessels, and the nerve fibers. Okay, now the development of the scales in case of the Scalodons are formed by the epidermis and some by the dermis. During its development, the mesodermal cells aggregate beneath the epidermis. These cells divides and grow into the which epidermis push upward and the small papilla is forms. Okay, the cells of the Malpighian layers of these regions become columnar and the glandular, forming the odontoblast, and odontoblast they are act as for the raw material for the productions of these scales in case of the Scalodons. So these are all about the external morphology of the Scalodon. Then we will turn toward the another important system which is present in case of the Scalodon are nothing but the digestive system. Okay, and you peoples are already known that the digestive system are the very important, that is physiological system which is present in case of the animal, which help to them for the digestions of the organic material, and after the digestion the undigested food material they are removed from the body, and the digested food material they get reabsorbed by the body and poured into the bloodstream, and from the bloodstream they are transported toward the kidney. Here they are reabsorbed, retained by the kidney, okay, and poured into the blood, and they are further utilized for the various functions of the body. Okay, now the digestive system in case of the Scalodons are complete type of the digestive system are present. So the digestive system includes the alimentary canal and the digestive glands. Okay, now the digestive system of any animals comprises the alimentary canal and the associated glands. Okay, now the alimentary canal of the Scalodon comprises the different zones, that is the ingressive zone, progressive zone, degressive zones and the egressive zones. Here is the alimentary canal. Okay, here is the mouth, ventral side. When we observe from the crescentic openings are present, mouth leads into the buccal cavity, buccal cavity leads into the pharynx, pharynx leads to esophagus, esophagus leads into the stomachs. Okay, there is having the lobes of the stomach, that is the upper is the cardiac stomach, lower is the pyloric stomach. Then they are intestine, small intestine, large intestine, then rectums and colon, and there is lastly there is a opening into the cloacal apertures. Okay, now the alimentary canal of these animals, they are differentiated into the 4 zones. The first one is the egressive zone. Egressive zone includes the mouth and the buccal cavity. Mouth and buccal cavity which is present to the anterior most part to the ventral side of the